All right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to today's gameplay stream. I am Darkside Phil. Today is Sunday, September 11th, 2016. And before we even get started with any kind of discussion of gaming or anything like that, I do want to take a moment out to obviously recognize that today is 9/11. Today is September 11th. In fact, today is the 15th anniversary of the terror attacks in New York City. Against the Twin Towers. And I kind of said this on Twitter last night, but for those of you who are already here on stream, by the way, thank you for being here on stream today. Just want to say this. You know, I am an American, right? I was here during the terror attacks. I remember watching them on TV, and horrendous. Mass loss of life. Any mass loss of life is terrible, especially for a really stupid cause, a really stupid, fruitless reason, right? It'd be one thing if, it's people sacrificing their lives for the greater good of the human race, and another thing when it's just, religious extremism and hating people and other cultures just for the sake of saying that one culture is better than another. I'm not going to go into a philosophical debate here, but the bottom line is it was a terrible thing. And today we recognize it, and I do want to say, rest in peace to those who did lose their lives in those horrendous attacks, and subsequently, those who lost their lives who helped out cleaning up from those attacks. There were plenty of firefighters and first responders and police of people and basically anyone who came in there to help, and they're all sick and dying too. I've heard some horrible stories from Jon Stewart, of all people, who used to do The Daily Show, who's kind of covered how the health problems from people who responded to 9/11, the 9/11 terror attacks, I should say, have been suffering, and the government has stopped giving them aid. It's just a nasty thing all around, all right? It really is. So the bottom line is this, we take a moment today to obviously recognize that it happened. But I think what we really need to do, and this is my opinion, you could completely disagree with me, and that's fine. But I think that what we need to do is learn from it and move forward positively. There's some people who, they use this day as a way to try to say, oh, the world is horrible and it's full of hate. But, I like to think of it as a way to see that, yeah, there are disagreements that we have, and there are a lot of horrible things that happen, but it's how we react to them and how we move forward positively and learn from them that matters, Some people, they say, never forget 9/11, right? Never forget. You know what? You're right. It's a horrendous act. It's something terrible that happened. Never forget it, but don't hold it with hatred in your heart, Don't. Because then you're always going to have this negativity, this nastiness held inside of you because of it that happened. I think of it as never forget and learn from it and move forward positively. It's actually funny, since I moved to Washington State, I've seen a lot more people here than when I lived in Connecticut who are Muslims. And I hold absolutely no negativity towards anyone of any faith or anything for any of this kind of stuff to happen, and there's some people in America who are like knee-jerk reactionists, and they'll see, a woman wearing a burqa or a headdress, or a man wearing a turban and with a beard, and they'll flip out, like, oh, he's a terrorist, they're terrorists. And I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, like, could you tell me if there was like a worse way to not learn from these terrorist attacks, to have these kind of knee-jerk reactions to this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. It is a day of reflection for a lot of people, certainly for me as well. But I don't think that we need to make our entire lives about it either. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people where it's like every year we got to go back, we have to hearken about everything that's happening with these attacks again. And it's like, it's 15 years now. Here's hoping that we can have positive progress and hopefully work together as a human race to become better and more positive and not kill each other over stupid shit. All right. So I got that out of the way, okay? So, ladies and gents, welcome to my gameplay stream. Today we are continuing on with Nuka-World. I've been playing this for 3 straight days. I've been having a ton of fun with it. It is definitely the most challenging gameplay in Fallout 4 of anything I've done so far. The enemies are insane bullet sponges. There's a ridiculous amount of them in the game. It's pretty out of control, okay? And I've been having a ton of fun with it. Now today, FYI, I'm nearing the end of the DLC. And what I mean by that is I've cleared out all the areas of the park itself, okay? What I need to do today, there's a hubologist storyline mission that I need to do. I need to try to collect star cores so I can unlock the best power armor in the game. I need to try to find a way to enable the power in the park, because that will turn on the rides, and that's, I think, one of the missions and achievements is to ride all the rides. And there's also medallions at certain parts of the park. I've gotten a few of them, but not all of them. There's also hidden cappies, which are these hidden symbols all throughout the park, and if I get them all, I'll have the code to open up the door to the guy who basically founded the park, who's supposed to be like Walt Disney. So that'll be pretty cool. That'll definitely be pretty cool to open it up and see what's in there. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get all of that done today. I have no idea. If I don't, then I'm probably going to be playing this again tomorrow to finish it up, because this week we've got 3 major new releases and 1 minor new release. I'm about to talk about that in just a moment, because you're going to have critical feedback on what I play this week and what order I play it. So it's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to it, definitely. So today will be more Nuka-World on stream. Depending on how far I get tomorrow, maybe more Nuka-World. Now, if I finish up with Nuka-World today, which I don't know if I will or not, okay, there's a possibility, but it's certainly not a guarantee. Tomorrow I'll probably be doing something else, to fill time for my stream. And it's up for debate what it'll be. It could be something multiplayer, like maybe some Overwatch or maybe some King of Fighters. It could be more Scarface, which is the playthrough that I was doing all throughout August, and unfortunately it went on hold for all of these new releases. And quite honestly, these new releases have taken a lot longer than I thought they would to be. Like, Deus Ex ended up being longer than I thought it was going to be. Nuka-World is turning out to be an incredibly long DLC. So they're taking up more time than I had thought, and I thought maybe I would have gotten back to Scarface before new content, but now I don't know if I'm going to. Alright, so there's a possibility maybe tomorrow. I don't know, I'm not promising it. So, I know there are people who want to see the end of that game. You just got to relax. Alright? We've got to get back to a time when there's not a lot going on, and then I will finish it, okay? So, that's kind of what's on the agenda streaming for the next couple of days. And then Tuesday, starting Tuesday, will be all the new releases of this week in double stream format. Meaning I'll be streaming a main stream and then a later stream all week, for at least for 3 days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm planning to do that, okay? Now, if the later stream ends up not getting as many views and people aren't coming out for it because it's later, I'll just play offline stuff to continue on with the playthroughs. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I want to at least initially start with double streams and see how it goes from there, okay? Alright, so here's the deal. Here's what to expect. We're going to play Nuka-World today on stream. Tonight, the weekend preview, it's going to explain the new releases and how I'm planning to cover them. It's also going to announce the poll that I'm going to be putting up on Twitter tonight, where you're going to be able to vote on which game out of the 3 that are new releases you want to see the most. The new releases this week, FYI, are Recore, which is a combat puzzle action platformer style game that's an Xbox One exclusive. There's the BioShock Remastered Collection, of which I want to replay BioShock 1. And then there's also the Dead Rising Remastered Collection, of which I want to replay Dead Rising 1. So that's a lot of stuff right there to cover. And, it's going to depend on how people vote and also how I feel. I just want to let everyone know, even though the voting may go one way, I may have a last-minute change of heart. Ultimately, I do control what I play, but I am going to definitely allow your feedback in this poll to kind of mold where I'm going this week with my new content. All right? So we'll see what happens with that. That poll will be going live tonight on my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. So you're going to want to keep your eyes open later tonight and vote on which you want to see the most, and that'll control what I play first in the order of me playing the games. All right? Also tonight, I'm doing the weekly preview. Okay? Oh, I already explained that. I screwed that up. That's not what I meant to say. Also tonight, I'm doing Patron Stuff, is what I meant to say. I'm going to take all the patrons who messaged me over the past week, all those August patrons, and I'm going to get their forum accounts upgraded. I'm going to do private Q&A videos. I'm basically going to get everything settled tonight so that moving forward this week, if you still want to vote on that ongoing poll of what the retro game I'll be playing later this month is, it's either going to be Banjo-Kazooie or Jak 3 or Crash Bandicoot 3. You'll be able to do that. You'll be able to post up your questions for Ask the King if you're a patron who deserves the premium access to get your question answered for sure. All that stuff. All right? So that's the deal. That's tonight. Now, also tonight, what I'm hoping is that I can also work on my review of King of Fighters 14. I worked on this on Friday night. I got all the voiceovers done. I actually got the artwork I want for the thumbnail on YouTube. I got the music together, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down and edit it. Yesterday, I didn't have any time because I was out doing my usual errands that I do Saturday nights. So I'm hoping to put some time into that tonight, but I don't know if I can guarantee you that I'll have that done. And then if I don't finish that, then the King of Fighters review will be Monday night, okay? I want to review the Nuka-Cola, DLC here, but I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do it, quite honestly. If I don't get to do it tomorrow night, I'm just not going to have a chance to do it. So again, I guess it all depends on, how far I get and stuff, and we'll go from there, all right? That's pretty much it. I really don't have too much else to talk about on the pre-stream, and I do want to get started with Nuka-World, because I do want to try to, see how far I can get today. All right? So, without further ado, very quickly, some gratuitous plugs, and then we'll get started. I've already talked about my Twitter, They Call Me DSP. Every night I post up a new schedule of what you can expect the next day on stream and on-demand videos. I also put up polls and stuff on there. For example, tonight's poll is very important about what I'm going to be playing this week. In addition to that, there's all kinds of pictures and my opinions on stuff. It's cool to follow me on Twitter. Let's put it that way. And by the way, let me put it this way. Following me on Twitter has become a much better experience since I became verified on Twitter. Like, I can't tell you how much of a better experience it is. It seems like a lot more people are participating. A lot more people are talking and retweeting and faving and basically making a social interaction, which is what it's supposed to be. And that's awesome. So thank you to those of you who already follow me, and please consider following me if you don't already, all right? In the description of all of my videos and live streams, you can find a referral link to Loot Crate. It's lootcrate.com/darksidephil. And you can also find a discount code, SaveMe10DSP. If you use those on any new subscription at Loot Crate, you can save 10%. And that's unlimited. Any subscription you start at Loot Crate, you can save 10%, okay? This month, I just unboxed Loot Anime for the very first time last week. It was actually quite good. I recommend you check out the unboxing if you haven't seen it yet. And if you like it, maybe get something at Loot Crate, use the code, and, I get a little bit of a referral credit, and you save 10%. It all works out, right? KO Gaming, my YouTube channel where I do highly edited content like reviews, first impressions, countdowns, montages, all kinds of stuff. I just released my review of Deus Ex Mankind Divided the other day. So I strongly recommend you check it out over there on KO Gaming at youtube.com/KO Gaming 1. As I've already said, King of Fighters 14 will be getting a review coming up. There'll be a review of Recore once I finish it. Okay? And, all the new games coming out this year, I'll be doing major reviews for them. All right? Also, Patreon, patreon.com/darksidephil. If you like my on-demand streams, if you like the videos I upload, if you like everything that I do for free, and you want to see it continue to be free, and you want me to continue to be able to do this as a job, Patreon is the way you can go above and beyond to help support. All right? Patreon is not bonus money for me to go out and buy, ridiculous eccentricities and luxuries. It's the money I use to pay my bills. Because, YouTube ain't all it's cracked up to be. It used to be a lot better, more lucrative. It certainly isn't anymore, especially for someone like me, who is not following all the top YouTube trends and doing everything I possibly can on YouTube to get cheap clicks and views. Patreon is the way to go if you want to help support and allow me to continue doing this full time, all right? And you get stuff for your pledges. There are personal perks that you get, but this month, we are pledging towards a horror marathon on Halloween Day. If you're not aware, last year I did a Halloween marathon, and it was good, but it wasn't great, because last year I only played one game, and it ended up being 6 to 7 hours of the same game. People got bored after a couple hours, and you know what? Pure oversight on my behalf. I admit fault. I should have foreseen that would have happened, okay? So this year, I'm doing it different. If we hit the funding goal for this month on Patreon, I'm going to allow people who pledge $5 or more during the month of September to nominate and vote on horror-themed games that I'll be playing during this marathon on Halloween. In addition, I'll be dressing up. I'll have a webcam going. It's going to be a cool celebration of the horror-themed stuff for that month. And I'll be playing 3 to 4 different games. I think the variety should certainly add on to everything that I'm doing and make it a better environment and a better experience, you know what I mean? Rather than just me sitting there playing one game for 7 hours. So please pledge this month. You're contributing to an awesome goal. And if you pledge $5 or more, you can actually become part of the voting process of what I'll be playing during that marathon. Okay? You got till the end of the month to do that. And then certainly last but not least, ladies and gents, my girlfriend Leanna owns her own business, The Blackcurrant, where she makes handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. We are almost in the fall. In fact, the fall is coming in a little bit over a week. Now is the time to start using wax tart melts. You can get a wax tart melter for as cheap as $10. I've seen them. Okay, it's just a little thing that heats up when you plug it into the wall, and it melts these scented wax blocks that she makes. Makes your house smell great. It's a great alternative to like a scented candle because you don't need a lighter with lighter fluid, and you don't need, you don't have to worry about a fire hazard. It's very similar to to that, only no risk. If the thing spills, it's just wax. You clean it up. It's not a big deal. Nothing sets on fire. So, now is the time of the year to be thinking about that kind of stuff. Check it out at etsy.com/shop/the blackcurrant. If you don't believe me when I say her stuff's good, just check out the website for yourself. She's got ridiculous amounts of positive feedback from her customer base. People love it. She shipped over 500 orders internationally. She doesn't just ship domestically to the U.S. She ships to Canada, Mexico, parts of Europe, Australia, all kinds of places around the world. So please give it a look. All right, that's it. Let's get started with the near conclusion. I don't know if we're going to conclude today, but at least the near conclusion of Nuka-World here live on stream. Thanks for being here, everyone, and let's begin.